Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Blooming Daily. So glad to have you join us again. And as always, it's always such a delight to be speaking about health and wellness with you. How are you doing? How have your week's been, your month's been? Please let us know in the comment section because we truly want to know how you're doing. And if there's anything bugging you, especially in terms of health, wellness, fitness, anything at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. And we're going to try to help you in the best ways that we can. And so, on our last episode, we started speaking about fitness, physical fitness. We wanted to help you think of ways you can, get into understanding the nuances with physical fitness, the struggles and everything. And we started the first part of From Burnout to Balance, strategies for sustained fitness. We don't want you to just do something once and stop. We want it to be sustainable. And so we started speaking about that. And so we are back for the second part of that episode. And again, in the studio with me is Neiman.
Hello.
Welcome back, Neiman.
So glad to be here.
How are you doing?
I am still excellent.
I love it. Neiman was excellent, feeling excellent during the first episode, and I love that. It's the same. I think that, things happen in life, but we can keep pushing, and I love that. I love that. That's amazing. And so, on just a quick recap of the previous episode, if you haven't listened to it, please go do. You'd get more context into the things we've already spoken about. We spoke about Neiman's background with athletics. We spoke about, the benefits of physical fitness. We spoke about the struggles we find in, for example, a space you feel comfortable to work out in. Because for benefits like boosting your mood, if you're not even exercising in a place you feel comfortable in, then you're going to be counteracting that benefit.
Oui.
So, we spoke about the benefits to your organs. We spoke about your cardiovascular health, your heart. We spoke about your lungs, your muscles, your bones, your brain. We spoke about how it improves your mood. And then we didn't speak about promoting better sleep, but it also does. Just make sure not to do it right before bed.
Shooting for 7.
Oh, 7 hours?
And shooting for it.
Oh, that's good. I think that's actually where I am too,
Nice.
even though that's not what I have been.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think this past few weeks have just been a lot. So I haven't been able to get even up to 7, to be honest. But that's where I am. That's where I want to be.
Yeah.
Some days, maybe close the weekends, I can get up to that.
You're
but
there tomorrow, girl.
Yes,
So.
exactly. But during the weeks, I have weeks where it's not. I don't get up to that. But then that's not what I want it to be. And that's just the reality of how things are. Sometimes we want things to be better, but they're not. And even for me, that happens.
Yeah.
And even for people who speak about health and wellness, that happens. It's a reality.
Yeah.
It doesn't, speaking about it doesn't erase the struggles that are
correct.
with it.
No, I think it does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Therapists have therapists.
Exactly.
So it's one of those. Yeah.
It is one of those. So, yes, now that we've done a short recap, we're going to go into the how-tos today. And again, this is not a one-size-fits-all.
Oui.
We're not giving something. This is
I'm a doctor.
Yeah. We're not doctors.
Professional.
We're no coaches. None of that. We're just here to give you the options. This is
I'm giving you direct legal advice. I am not giving anyone direct legal advice.
So, these are the things you can consider, pick what works for you kind of thing. It's like a buffet, pick what you want.
Okay.
Because this is not one size fits all. We couldn't possibly do that just by...
I'm not here to judge.
No, we're not here to do any of that. And we just want to provide resources for you, basically. And so everything we're going to be speaking about today are not things we're saying you must do, but things you could consider doing.
Suggestions,
these are all suggestions and an invitation for you to reflect on the things that might work for you. So with that, we're going to get started, and we're going to speak about schedules, creating a customized schedule. And before we even go into that, what was I know on the previous episode you spoke about working out 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours a day, like in your early years and all of that. What would you say the benefit for having a schedule was for you?
It was very grounding and very, very repetitive, for better or for worse. So I still felt like I had freedom in my day, just not between 4:30 and 8:30. You can still do whatever you want. Discipline that is very, 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 very. It gets ingrained in you after a while. If you do the same thing over and over. And I think you can also learn nuance and variation within a schedule. At least when I was doing my at-home garage workouts this summer, it was I would never exceed an hour in that, never. I was only there for maybe 40, 35 minutes tops. But I always wanted to change how it was used,
Yes.
and optimize how it was used. So first I did some exercises that weren't so good, but then I was like, okay, why am I doing, So I think reframing your schedule and making it enjoyable.
Yes.
And consciously trying to make it more enjoyable.
Yes.
Will make you more inclined to do it.
Yes, I totally agree. And you mentioned discipline. I wanted us to speak about this after speaking about creating a customized schedule, but I think we can speak about it now.
Yeah.
Discipline and motivation. When do they have the same effect?
That's a good question.
Discipline and motivation. And what are the days where you need more discipline than motivation? And what are the days where you need more motivation than discipline?
I will say that motivation definitely has a more positive connotation attached to it.
That is true.
In my mind.
And in my mind as well.
I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing, but it's definitely there. And I would say I really need discipline on the days where you really feel like you cannot do it. I called my mom, I think literally this time last week, and I was like, girl, I just want to sleep. I do not want to go to this lab, and she was like, just do it. One more, So I feel like discipline, I'll say you start anything, I would hope, with motivation of some sort.
Yes.
So I would say your motivation should carry you throughout whatever activity you're trying to do. And then the discipline comes in for the days where it's really tough. Let's just say it's raining, you're sick, whatever happens. There were some days where I was like, I don't want to work out, but you just kind of have to push through on those days. I will also add on to that. I'll say discipline has a negative connotation because when you don't, let's just say, submit to the discipline or act on it, I, for one, have an immense sense of guilt.
Yes, that guilt is so real.
It's oh, wow. I'm not working out. I'm not getting these benefits. I'm not doing these, and it's just oh, wow. So I think dealing with that guilt is an entirely different monster on its own.
And that's very real, which is why when we think about discipline and motivation, it's important to extend grace to yourself. It's so important. There was something I read I don't know where I read this, whether it was in a book, but there are two things coming to my mind. One thing I read in the book is that beating yourself up doesn't help you. It only leaves you bruised.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beating yourself up only leaves you bruised, and it makes it harder for you to do that thing you want to do, because now you feel really bad and hurt, and you're more bruised. And so instead, extending grace to yourself and reminding yourself of why you want to do this thing in the first place and failing forward. There's something someone told me, I think my first year, about failing forward and falling forward. You know, when you fall on your hands, not on your back.
Yeah.
So when you fall forward on your hands, that way you can stand up more easily.
Wow. And you're always moving.
Yes,
forward,
exactly.
too.
You're moving forward. So you might be falling or
But you're
failing.
still, that's a greater distance that you covered, girl. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. So thinking about it that way is really important. Just extending grace to yourself.
Yeah.
And then not beating yourself up, because beating yourself up doesn't help. And then framing your thinking in such a way as, like, instead of saying, oh, I did so awful, and saying, how could I have done better? Yes, and how can I do better in the future? And so we just really wanted to mention that. And there are some days where it to be really hard and you just might not work out, and that's okay.
Yeah, there were many days.
There are days, and so there are times and days where it's just really hard, but those are really valid. So discipline and motivation are two key factors in staying consistent, but there are some times where even both of them would not be enough to help you push through, and maybe those days are days where you just have to sit back and then you go the next day. Maybe those are just the days you actually have to say, I'm taking today off. But of course, there are many times where we have to push through the hard things. They make us better.
This is true.
But there are also days where we have to say, I think I'm making myself better by just stepping back.
One question I would ask, though, is could you make a valid argument with, let's just say, let me not go to the gym, feel really guilty, and then learn how to deal with my guilt? I feel like I would rather learn to deal with my guilt than get an immediate workout.
I think we could make an argument. I think that's
just
very
because
valid.
Like that sense of guilt is definitely returning. You know, like that will come up in a test, academic, familial. Like I'm going to, that'll be there. So if you do learn how to address that and deal with it in a healthy way, instead of always, instead of never having to deal with it and always going to the gym. I just think there are, positives that we sometimes overlook.
That is very
not
true.
Going to the gym.
That is very true. I think that knowing that, okay, I'm feeling this guilt, but I'm doing what's best for my body right now by just resting is something we can think of,
Or you could think about, okay, what if you were just like, why am I guilty?
Yes.
Like, oh, I'm not feeling better. Why do you want to feel better?
Yes.
Or I just feel like there's lots of introspection that could take place in those quick moments where we do decide just to make those split decisions to avoid that guilt.
Yes, I think that's very true. And I know certainly I have days where I come back from meetings and classes and I want to do a quick workout at night, go to the gym. But then I tell myself that no, I'm really tired, and even though I want to say I want to have gone to the gym, and gotten that workout in, I feel like my body also just needs me to rest.
Yeah.
And I'm going to allow it,
And I think about that. Like, think about just the phrase, like, oh, I went to the gym. Like, that makes you feel good, right? But, like, wow, that's pretty crazy. So if you don't go to the gym, do you feel bad? And I don't think when you say I feel good, I mean, you obviously mean that physically, but you also feel that, I'm guessing, like, mentally and emotionally as well. So I think the power that the gym has in that sense is very, very, very real.
It's very real, which is why I think finding other sources to get a good workout in without going to the gym is essential. And I'm going to speak about it later, but I'm big on at-home workout. I am so big on them. I love them. I do them all the time in my room. I'm dancing. And dancing.
Moving.
So
Talk about a healthy form of exercise.
Yes, absolutely. So yes, again, we started talking about this through discipline and motivation, but there are so many nuances involved. And so sometimes you might have the strength to push through, but other times you might not. And on the days where you might not be able to go all the way, finding other smaller ways to get things done would be amazing.
I agree.
So now to creating a schedule of some sorts, because I know people love to have guidance in that. I think the first thing on my list here, and again, we said this earlier, this is a pick what works for you. The first thing on my list here is think about your intention.
Yes.
So Daniel said this on the episode we recorded in I think this was October 2022, you know.
Wow.
Intent and intention are things that are really important when you're starting a new routine or all of that, you know.
Very
intent
much so.
fosters intentionality.
Yeah.
So when your intents are built on, should I say, a solid ground in quote, it fosters your intentionality. So think about why you're even starting. Think about your intention. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Because
Oh, no, I would just say a suggestion I would have was to begin with the end in mind. I'll use my my cruise example again. Like that was maybe February. I was at home and then I thought, I was like, oh, I'm going on a cruise with a friend. And I was like, girl, well, I know the date of the cruise, how much time I have before the cruise, and what I want to look like while I'm on that cruise. So I just worked out. You know, I had my home workouts, and then it was really nice that I was able to enjoy my time. And then once the cruise is over, I didn't have that obligation anymore because I really accomplished that task and that mission. And I would say, begin with the end in mind. That doesn't mean you have, like, I'm not telling everyone to have a start and end date for everything that they do. But if you do have, like, some sort of vision of where you'd like to be, what's that quote? It's like, if you don't know where you're going, how do you expect to get there?
Oh, I think I actually have it in my journal.
Yeah, right? It's just like...
knowing the destination helps you create a roadmap.
Yeah, like how are you supposed to, I would say, like on the micro level, for me, if it's not in my like Outlook calendar, it doesn't exist. So I put everything that I want to do right there. And it's like at certain times. And if that's very, the more regular it is, the more likely it is that I'll do it. So that's on the micro level. But on the macro, I would just say, if I'm not going to say specific dates, but if you have certain accomplishments or goals that you'd like to achieve, I would suggest like actually writing those down and making those known, just so you know you have something to work towards. Because you're like, okay, I want to work out. Like, okay, like, what do you want to, like,
yes.
How long do you want to, what do you want to look like? Like, why? And like, where's the end? Because you could just be doing this your whole life, girl. For what? Like, you know? So.
Yes. Starting with the end in mind is important. And I also want to add a nuance to that sometimes there might not even be, you don't even have an end in mind.
Yeah. No. Could you give an example of that?
Like, for example, I personally don't have like an end in mind with my fitness goals.
Yeah.
I just like want to stay fit.
But okay. I'm not trying to say like an end. I'm trying to make that less analytical. But do you maybe have like a vision for where you'd like to be?
Yes, in like maybe in for example the backflip goal.
You're talking to the man.
I want to be able to do like the backflip, but I think my general wellness goals are just for me to be able to feel fit.
Okay.
I want to be able to run and not have to pant. I want to
run and not walk, or what is it? To run and not grow weary.
Yes, exactly.
to mount on eagle's wings.
Exactly.
And soar.
So I want to.
They shall walk and never faint.
Yes, exactly. No, literally, that's what I want. So I want to be able to do all those things. So for me, those goals, those things I want don't really have an end goal, because I want them when I'm 25. I also want them when I'm 50.
Yeah.
But there are also smaller goals, like being able to maybe, again, like being able to maybe swim 2 laps without stopping, being able to lift 150 pounds and all of that. Those are smaller goals, but my bigger goals don't have an end date, and which I think might be the case for a lot of people, which is very, very valid.
Very real. But also, I mean, this is very generic and stereotypical, but one thing I will seriously not advertise to anyone listening is to ever compare your body to any other person's body. Literally ever.
Yeah.
She could be on Ozempic. Like, he could be on creatine. Everyone is lying, and you just need to work on yourself. That's all I'm going to say.
Not comparing is so important. So important, which is why you have to make it your routine, your journey.
Yes.
It's about you. It's not about trying
They could be working out at 3 a.m. They could be, shooting up cocaine in the bathroom. Like, you don't know what anyone else is doing, so run your own race.
Exactly. So, again, to our point, your intent will foster the intentionality, because if you're not trying to outcompete someone, you're not going to feel the need to push yourself even when you feel like you're falling apart.
No.
So that's very important. And you spoke about goals, and that was on my list, so I'm just going to dabble on it quickly. Making goals is really important. Like I said, for me, my bigger goals don't have an ending. They're just to stay fit. But then smaller goals, like being able to lift a certain amount by this month, being able to, at the end of the year, being able to swim a particular length, being able to run, let's say, a kilometer, a mile, 2 miles, 2 kilometers. I know, I'm trying to...
I'm not the one, girl. Not yet.
I know, because in the US, people use miles a lot, but I know in other places, in Nigeria, in Germany... it's so funny.
About 3 feet. Sorry.
I'm like, miles? Oh, please, I do kilometers.
Girl, I'm sure you do.
So, being able to run 30 miles and... not feel like, oh, you're going to pass out. Those are goals worth having. But then even just enjoying the journey.
Yes.
That's one thing. That's the next thing I want to speak about now. Enjoying the journey. Because how sad will it be to actually get to the end of the goal and still feel just really bad.
And not enjoy it.
Yeah. So I think making your journey enjoyable is so important.
Yeah. And I would suggest doing that by first... make any quick or immediate changes that you can. For instance, like I worked out a few times in silence, and I was like, wait, I can get a speaker. So you get a speaker.
Yes.
Or you're like, oh wait, like a towel would really help. Or even, girl, like going from, like, I had my clothes laid out after I showered, so it's just easy to have. So if you make it pretty, and you know what you like, I'm sure whatever this person like. If you want to listen to Doja Cat or watch Bear Grylls or, I would say the worst thing you could do is stick with a workout that you don't enjoy and just like keep doing it and hope you like. Because like if you don't like that, especially if you give it like 2, 3 days and you're still like spending the same time and you're just not, if you're not feeling anything good at the end of that, girl, leave. Like change
it. You don't have to be bound to it.
Change.
There are many workouts that can have the same effect. So definitely enjoy the journey. So we've mentioned when you're creating a schedule, think about your goals, think about your intent, and then build fitness into your daily activities too. Yeah. Just like we mentioned, just the small things.
That's all I do,
kitchen,
girl. That's all I mean.
Push-ups.
Take the long path home on your way home.
Exactly.
So you get that extra little walk in. I mean, I try to drink water as much as I can. I still have my ginger ale. But like, you can do, girl, I even really consider that walk from the mail center. If I have things in my arms and I have to walk all the way back to read, girl. my arms are burning.
Yes.
Like, I don't know about
It's
you.
literally the same thing that happened to me earlier this week when I picked up a really heavy package.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I can. I was like
Stairs?
lifting my package as a way of doing my arm
Girl,
workout.
I'm on the 3rd floor, no elevator. Like, it is not a joke.
So,
yeah.
yes, building it into your daily routine is really
Absolutely.
important.
I think that's also sorry to cut you off, but I think that's also one of the most customizable places you can make it.
Yes.
Since it's like you can view every, moment you have as an opportunity just to get a little exercise in.
Yes.
And then by the whole day, by the end of, you can accumulate a pretty good workout.
Exactly. And so there are many days or weeks where you might not have time for a 1 hour workout, but if you build in 10 minutes,
Every
10
day.
minutes, it's going to go a long way. And so another one on our list is when you're building a customized schedule, allow time for recovery. Allow time for your body to recover.
Yeah.
If not, you might just stop completely. So building time for recovery.
If you're not getting enough sleep at night and you're not getting any little midday nap or like rest at all, I don't know how to help you. Like,
it's
you gotta help yourself. Point.
Allowing time for recovery is so important because you can't just push your body. It's unfair to your body to be
unfair. Is the right
I
word.
think yes, it's unfair to your body to just say do this.
Yeah,
No,
and you're not. Yeah.
So you have to allow time and space for recovery for your body. So we just wanted to mention a few things when you're building a routine. Allow time for recovery, build activity into your daily routine, and then start slow.
Yeah.
And then progress.
I agree.
From there.
For my garage example again, I remember I started with, I think it was just like one set of 10 push-ups, V-ups, and like crunches or something. And I was panting, like sweating. And by the end of the summer, girl, I could do easily 4 sets of 20 of each, 5 sets of 20 of each.
Wow.
So I think like being honest and intentional with your progression will really, I've seen it in action. So
Exactly. I feel the same way. And so when you're building a routine, don't just start with like 20 push-ups.
No. Start slow. Make it fun so
add some music. Like when you do one push-up, get up and like dance.
In between each workout, you need some water, just a breather, a song change.
So it's really important to start slow. Also because your body is just adjusting.
Yes.
If you start too hard, reality is you might sustain injuries.
Yes.
You might pull your muscles. There are lots of negatives that can happen, but
you could bruise your ego.
not just bruising your legs or your arms, but you could also bruise. So start slowly.
There's
start
no shame
small, and it's okay if you can only do 2 push-ups at the start
or no push-ups.
Yes, exactly. So start slowly because that's not where you're going to be forever. And so when I remember hearing this analogy when babies are learning to speak.
Yeah.
Everyone is encouraging them.
Yeah.
From their first babble. Everyone is so happy. And people give them the chance to progress slowly.
Yeah.
But I think as adults, when we're trying something new, we don't get the same encouragement for the little steps. Everyone just expects you to do it, bam, good. Immediately. But for children, we don't do that. When someone writes their first letter, we're so proud. We celebrate them, So starting slowly is a big one when you're building a schedule. And the next one is document your progress.
Yes. That's it.
Document your progress. If you did, if you ran a half mile more or a quarter kilometer more, write it down.
Yeah.
Document your progress.
That's pretty interesting. I have... Okay. I'll just get this off my chest. I've never been the most comfortable doing progress pictures of myself.
Oh yeah, it doesn't have to be pictures as well.
No, but like I think in a journal, or I mean, even for me mentally, like I just did it by week. So if I was like new week, extra 5, I was like, yeah, I did it. Like, yeah, cool, good. And I got to eat a good meal. But like, I definitely, I think we've all seen those like body progression Instagram stories.
Yeah, I don't do, no. Yeah. But,
you know.
but the thing with, that
Thankfully,
is very
we're not
true.
doing that here.
No. The thing with documenting is that it can help you see how far you've come.
And I think the key word in there is also it's for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not to copy with anyone.
I'm not
just like we said at the beginning, this is not a competition.
Which is why I'm so on the Instagrams. Because like, you know, it's who's it for?
So documenting your progress for yourself is really important. And I would encourage that you space out your documentations, because if you try to document maybe every single day, you might get frustrated by
and
not seeing seeing the changes you want to see. But if you document, let's say every week, every 2 weeks, then you can see more changes, because then you can feel like, oh, yesterday, this is how I look. Also, because if you're looking at yourself every day, you're not going to see the changes.
Yeah.
And so spacing out your documentations is really important, but documenting your progress, absolutely vital.
I agree. And make it positive too.
Yes.
Like, congrats, like you did this, your effort. Like, and I feel like you can even make the affirmation positive in itself. Like you can make a cute card or whatever to yourself. Exactly.
Which leads to the last point I wanted to make about making a schedule, that you should build in a reward system.
Oh.
Building a reward system. Make sure not to do a reward system that counteracts everything.
Yeah.
But building a reward system.
I agree.
If you're doing things right, why not reward yourself?
I agree.
We want to reward other people. Why don't we reward ourselves?
My reward was the Sabbath day. I did not work out on Sundays. I was like, no, it's just not for me. And I feel like that was good enough. But I totally agree. And that also, it's all about incentives for us humans.
Yes.
So if you see the pearly white gates at the end of this hard journey, that makes it worth it.
Yes.
# Pilgrim's Progress. I need to read that book again.
Yes, I did read that book.
I need to get that burden off my shoulders. You know, I was just like, oh, soon, girl.
Yeah,
soon.
Rewarding yourself is so important. And so now we want to wrap up by speaking about, the challenges that can come with, all of this and the little things you can do. One of the challenges I know that can come is finding time when you're really busy. And I want to hear how that is for you. How do you... I think we've kind of touched on it when we said building it into your daily routine, but I want to hear you speak about how you find time when there seemingly is no time.
That's a very, very good question. That's very... it's a hot button issue for me right now. Only because, like, in my current schedule, I'm just going to be real with you, Ruth. I don't think I have time in my day. Like, I'm going to be that person. I'm not going to get into these details, but so during the summer, I worked out in the morning, and that was really good because it was done for me in the morning, and I haven't done afternoon workouts that often. And my mornings this semester, I have 3 classes every day except for Friday. Like, I'm working multiple jobs, so I literally don't have time in most of my mornings or afternoons. With that being said, that's why I try to include like little many things throughout my day.
Exactly.
And I kind of count that as my little win. Again, this is coming from someone who does not work out at night, but I would suggest looking at pockets during the morning or night for people who that's attractive to. Just because that's, like for me too, I have to shower after I'm done. So
Yes.
it's a
process.
Yeah, I have to get clothes. So it's just like a lot. At least with diving, that was built in 4:30 to 6:30. I was showering there. It was easy. But like now, girl, I am not waking up at like 6 a.m. to go to Farley to walk. Like I'm not doing all that. And I'm also not leaving Reed at like 9:30 to go to bed. So I would just say, find out what you want. And then find out if you have enough time in your days to get what you want.
Yes. That's really important.
That's
sometimes.
basically, yeah.
And I think that's really important because...
Also, Google or Outlook or Apple Calendar. Just get any calendar, just so you can visualize your time.
That's very important. And again, sometimes we feel like we don't have time, so we don't want to do any workout at all. But that's sometimes because we are thinking of hour-long workout. Sometimes it's only 10 minutes. Do you know that I think the workouts I do the most during the week are a 10-minute HIIT workout.
Nice, 10-minute abs?
Yeah, just not even abs, just full body 10 minutes.
Girl, it's wonderful.
Yeah, I just do 10 minutes and I'm good because I realized that because I have really packed days.
Yes, girl, you're busy.
Because I have really packed days. It's like really hard. Just like you said, when I go to the gym, I have to shower.
Yeah.
So I'm building in time to walk to the gym. Do my workouts, walk back to the gym, shower. And so
kind of mentally decompress because you're still like, so this is like, it's a whole thing.
So it's a whole thing. So I realized, and I think I started this my second year. I started working out at home because I realized I just don't have time, but I want to move my body.
Here's the thing, girl. I really would get on the home workout thing with, like, I'm there. Full disclosure, though, girl, if I work out, I'm, like, sweating.
Yes.
Like, so, and I have not, like, I'm not going to sweat on, like, the rug in my house. So... and that's a lot, and I'm not going to get into the logistics of where I live, especially online, 7 Booty Street, Brunswick, Maine. But girl, I have security. But I'll just say, yeah, a home workout would be really good. Just don't. Make sure you air out your yoga mats.
Yes.
My mom
had. And open your windows.
Open your windows. And please be considerate of communal spaces. That's all I'll say.
So, yes. Home workouts are a thing you can definitely
love me
do.
A home workout.
I love those. And for me, those are more sustainable, you know. So with the issue of finding time, I really encourage that if you're struggling to find time, home workouts are a thing you should definitely check. And if you need plugs, definitely let us know. And depending on what your goals are, we can send you resources.
I agree.
And then another challenge is on staying motivated. But like we mentioned before, many times we have to extend ourselves grace.
Yes.
And one way you can stay motivated is by working out in community.
Yes.
I think that's the thing that teams have when you work out in a team.
Yeah,
that you might not get
see it
as a solo when you work out
if you
solo.
Call that community.
So
sorry, I'll just use the word filial piety. Or no. Fictive kinship. Sorry, I'll say that. Filial piety is Confucianism. Yeah. Fictive kinship is like. It's just like imagined groups. So let's just say Canadians really aren't different than us, but for whatever reason, they just have that sense of community. And that could be applied to either a macro level, like there's race and nations don't really exist, we just made that up, or a micro level where like the swim team is like, I was a diver, but some people would put me on a different like pedestal or just view me differently because I was an athlete. And I think that all athletes, you know, that bond is fake. It's still real, but like, we can kind of drop all our guns here.
So, yeah, working out in community.
Yes, that's what I was trying. I wasn't against. Yeah, wanted to be clear. Yeah, it is good. But I only made my other point about fictive kinship because certain groups and teams can crowd an entire space.
Yes.
So it's not as communal.
Yes, that there is a part of that.
Yeah.
That's very true. And
To make it all make sense. Yeah.
and that's why being intentional about the community you're working out with. And when we say community, we also don't mean 10 people. It could also be like literally just having a workout buddy.
It could be you and Siri.
Yes, right. It could be.
Good job. No.
It could be. I remember like a few semesters ago, I had a friend that would sometimes go to work out together, but then she went abroad and now she's back. And so I was like, we should work out again together. That's community.
Yeah.
I don't need 10 people. Just even one workout buddy
Shout
is
out
community.
Rashay McDonald and Fayle Hassan. We ran up those treadmills. Trust that. Like,
See, just 2 more people
we know
working out with your
community.
friends.
Yeah.
So it might not be possible if you're doing a home workout, but again, maybe have that friend who just once a week you go to the gym together. It just makes it so nice. Like you watch them work out, they do 2 reps, you do 2 reps, they cheer you on, you switch, you run on the treadmill together. Both of you are panting together, seeing each other pant.
Yeah.
You're collectively
not alone.
panting. You're not alone. And
it's
so
a special feeling.
it's a special feeling.
Yeah.
And then saying we did that.
Yeah.
We did that. And so working out in community is a really big one.
And it's also an accountability partner, which can be very helpful.
Exactly. Getting an accountability partner definitely is a big one. And which is something, we didn't even mention for creating a schedule, but having an accountability partner who would nudge you on, remind you, all those things are really, really important. And then I wanted to mention that there are days where you might not be able to. There are days where challenges stem from biological things like menstruation, for example. I wanted to mention this because I personally I experienced it when
I could not imagine. I'm just saying, like, my prayers go to you.
Yeah,
You're
literally.
a warrior.
Because there's sometimes there are some months where my menstrual cramps are like,
yes,
they're like so painful.
Yes.
All I
Like
want to do
shooting,
is cry.
stabbing.
So
I can't imagine.
on those days, please extend grace to yourself.
Yeah.
Like do not try to force, like your body just needs you to take care of it.
Like,
So challenges stem from things like that as well, and those are really valid. So yes, extending grace to yourself is really important. And then, again, when those challenges come, those are times to really honor your body and treat your body fairly. Your body is going through a lot, so don't.
your body is a temple.
Yes, it is.
Someone once said.
So it's really important that when these challenges come, challenges from finding time, challenges from staying motivated, that we really treat our body with kindness and with grace and with
That's reading us with
compassion.
kindness, girl. You're awake.
Yes.
Like, I think you can see me. So,
So you can pick up things. So your body should be treated with kindness. And so with that, we're going to say, I want to close with this, that it's consistency over intensity. And it's about the things that these workouts do to you, not just about how they make you look. It's not about the comparison. It's not a competition. You're not trying to outshine anyone or outdo anyone or outwork out anyone. So, consistency over intensity. It's better to work out, which is why I tell myself 10 minutes a day, 3 times a week or 4 times a week, and do my high intensity interval training workout 3-4 times a week than to do 3 hours just only once a week or twice a week. No, consistency over intensity. And like our motto is on the podcast, it's progress over perfection. So it's about the progress you're making, not about doing 5 perfect reps of this or that, So consistency over intensity, progress over perfection. It's more than how it makes you look. It's about what it does to your body. It's about the person it makes you become. It's about how it helps you show up to the world and how it helps you show up for yourself.
She's preaching.
And so beyond all we've said, we just want you to know that that's the reason for all of this. How it makes you look and how it makes you show up. Okay.
Like,
Sing.
I think that's what we're trying to say here, guys.
So, It's more than the looks and all of that, but how it makes you feel and the person it makes you to become. And so, yes, when you're building those schedules, please show yourself love, show yourself compassion. The way you would like to treat a friend, the way you tell them to show themselves love, you should do that to yourself, and extend grace to yourself. With that, we're going to come to the end of this second part of the episode. And in fact, this is not the end of the conversation. There's so many nuances and we could go on for hours.
There's so much fitness.
There's so much.
There are so many push-ups you could be doing right now. Why aren't you doing push-ups?
So
Where's the closest pull-up bar to you?
Oh my goodness, Neiman, this is so funny. Again, this is just an invitation to a conversation. This is not the end of the conversation.
Invitation to do some more push-ups. No.
This is an invitation to think of how you can be including more physical activities into your day, how you can be overcoming barriers. Like, again, we could have spoken about access, but that's a huge conversation. There's just so much we could speak about. But then we wanted you to think about access, which is why we spoke about, at-home workouts. Gyms are a luxury for many people, and that's a real thing. It's a real thing. But again, we want you to be able to still move your body despite maybe an absence or presence of gyms or all of that. That's why we're encouraging the smaller things on your balcony, your veranda, in your room.
Whatever makes you feel comfortable.
Whatever makes you feel comfortable and whatever is achievable for where you are, where you're at, the situations you might find yourself, the place you might be in, the financial situation, all of that. Those are all real things. And we want you to be able to find something that works for you in spite of all the challenges that might be there, because your body is going to thank you. Your mind is going to thank you. And so, again, with that, we've come to the end of this episode. If there are things you would have loved us to touch or things on your mind or whatever it is, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Send us a message on our social media platforms at Blooming Daily. Send us an email at bloomingdaily01@gmail.com. Just reach out to us wherever you can find us, and we will definitely make sure to respond to you. Neiman, I just want to thank you for 2 whole episodes.
Thank you, Ro.
Thank you for gracing us with your presence on the show and for all your wonderful insights. We hope that you can continue to enjoy your workout and inspire other people through your athleticism, and that, you continue to grow and glow.
Oh, thank you so much.
Like, guys, his skin is glowing. He says his shea butter is working.
And does. Always.
Oh my gosh.
Always. So I'm always working out. Thank you so much, Ruth.
Thank you so much, Neiman. And please don't forget to share the episodes with others so that they can also incorporate all of this into their routines, and so that they can also take their physical fitness to another level, and they can also be thinking about these things. Thank you again for joining us. We will see you on the next episode. Bye.
Thank you.